I'm talking about my career inspiration analysis. And I was tasked with picking 3 people to do a review on and talk about how they inspired me. First one is Peter McKinnon. If you're into creativity and media communications, photography, or filmmaking, you're probably going to know who Peter McKinnon is. And if you don't, you need to start looking him up. He puts off the persona of sporadic perfectionist that loves skating, skateboards, filmmaking, photography. He loves all kinds of stuff. Knives, guns, motorsports, motocross. He's all of the above and then some. But most of all, he's down to earth. D for Darius did a video talking about different creators that were on the rise, and he mentioned Peter McKinnon. So I went to Peter McKinnon's channel and checked him out. And he was doing tutorials for Adobe, photography, some filmmaking stuff. The way he does his stuff is very interesting because when he talks about photography, he goes out, he shows you how he takes photos. He even talks about his first camera. But one of the things he also does when he does filmmaking, he makes these fantastic cinematic B-roll montages of just about everything you can think of. But the main thing he's done is cinematic montages of coffee. This man is so impactful as a filmmaker and a photographer that he's garnered 5.8 million subscribers and has a fan base that has followed him and has started to emulate him. What inspires me about him is that he's true to himself and he's real. There's a lot of things about him that I found in myself. And no matter how much I try to distance myself from trying to be more like him, I find that I'm already like that. Number 2, Darius Britt. He gives off this serious but funny but very intellectual vibe that I crave because that's kind of how I always wanted to be. He usually does tutorials on filmmaking. He talks about his process in making his film Unsound, and he also talks about other processes that he's been through as far as his filmmaking journey in the school he went to for filmmaking. And occasionally he does some BTS, which is how he tends to showcase his skills. He showcases his skills by doing the BTS, showing how he got the shot, and then he lets you know what he created after that. As far as impact in his field, he has won some awards for his films, short films and long form format films, and he has done pretty good for himself in the area. He's actually gotten some sponsorships for his YouTube channel that he only puts up a video every so often, once in a blue moon, but he actually does pretty good for never really uploading. I got to a point where I felt like there were certain things I was not going to be able to make it in because I look the way I do. And seeing his face on the screen, doing what I want to do and being where I want to be motivated me and inspired me to start my own journey. Number 3 is...
My name is Jeremy, and I'm passionate about learning how we build connections and community through digital media.
Jeremy Bork, a really big inspiration to me. He's a colleague, he's a fellow student, and he's a friend. He's very serious, he's very engaged, and he's very mindful of others. As far as services, I think I'll let him tell you about that one.
Currently, I do freelance videography and editing, but also I'm working on building a community that offers a collaborative place for people to work through thoughts about implementing their own strategy for communicating their message. I feel that the best ways to document how something is done is really in the process itself. I like to start with a blank slate, lay out all the key points, and then I try to find a logical order that makes sense to me in presenting it. And then after the production, I try to track my time as well as upload all my notes on the project so there's good transparency.
How he characterizes and articulates his skill is about his attention to detail. He pays a lot of attention to detail and he takes a lot of notes. And then he puts all that information into video form and it just turns into this magnificent piece of work. And how he inspires me is he helps me see the better side of myself when I can't see it for myself. I believe he will have a massive impact on the world to come. I think that sums up everything for this video. Thank you guys for watching.